Good morning. Today is Monday. It's the start of a new week. There's a lot of good things happening right now. One of which is yesterday I went to a church that I'd never been before. And the moment I walked in, I thought to myself, this is good. It was radiating reverence. And oddly enough, it's right down the street from where I'm staying. And I like to attend church on weekdays sometimes, so the fact that this is really close to me is incredibly positive. And now I'm at the coffee shop right now. I'm about to go undergo my morning writing session, and then we'll go from there. All right, I want to talk about how YouTube has changed everything for me. And I know that sounds grandiose, cliche, probably even a little bit goofy, but it's true. I think it'll make sense in the right context. And the context is, I've always felt like I don't belong. And that's the reason why when I went to college, I chose finance as a major, because I didn't know what else to do. That's why I worked at the company that I worked at, because I didn't know what else to do. That's why I quit that job and moved into a van, because I didn't know what else to do. And I lived in that van for the past 18 months. And it was some of the hardest times of my life, but in general, I was happy. I was making enough money just to get by every week, and I was spending all of my free time writing and working out, and I felt free. And so I didn't have a lot of tangible things, but I was fairly happy. And so it felt like it kind of got ripped away from me. I was a little bit devastated when I had to sell my van, because that was my home. And luckily, by the grace of my friend, the mercy of my friend, I was able to sell my house and get my house, my van, and get enough money for a plane ticket to travel back across the country, and he allowed me to stay in his apartment. But I was devastated, and his lease runs up in a few months, and I don't know what I'm going to do to not sleep on the streets. And I've told this story, but the part that I left out is that I applied to one job and I had an interview to one job, but that job isn't enough for me to make it through. And it's been incredibly hard to find motivation to apply for more jobs, because it does reach a point, we spend so much of our life working menial jobs or spending our time doing things that we don't like, and it reaches a point where you're like, why? Why should I even do this? And so I made that video because I didn't really know what else to do. And that's when something amazing happened. Something both heartbreaking but also amazing. Despite the fact that I've always felt like I didn't belong, the reason why I felt like I didn't belong is because I felt so disillusioned with the world. I felt like I didn't have a place. And I was looking around and I was like, does other people feel this way? And sometimes people speak about it, but I kind of seem like I'm by myself and I'm disillusioned, but other people are able to work jobs, and there's an ethos of get your life together. But it's like, why? It seems like we're meant for more than what's happening here. And the amazing thing that happened is, when I made that video just speaking blunt honesty about what I'm going through and what I'm dealing with right now, a lot of people came out of the woodwork like gophers in a field, popping up out of the ground, describing their own situation. They're talking about disease that they have, and I mean that literally in terms of physical ailments, but also emotional disease and distress and their own disillusionment with the world. And they don't add any context to it. They just see me saying, hey, this is what I'm dealing with, and I'm afraid, and I don't even really want to say this because it's vulnerable, but I'm going to say it because I don't know what else to do. And it's like it gave them a license to speak up in the comments. And it is heartbreaking, and that's the thing that always breaks my heart. But it is amazing because it makes me feel less alone. And despite the fact that I'm lacking motivation to find additional jobs, or I have been, the fact that other people are speaking up and talking about their own hardships in this world and how they feel alone and feel like they don't belong and everything they're going through, it gives me motivation to, if I can just keep doing this, if I could be a light for other people, then I would be willing to do more. I'd be willing to work jobs that I don't like as long as I can keep doing this. And that's how I felt for the past few days. It is sad, but there's something amazing about it to know that you're not alone. And I hope all the people who say those things to me, I read all of the comments. I can't respond to them all because I don't want to say trivial things. I don't want to just reply just to reply. But I see them all and I appreciate it, and it gives me motivation to keep going.